Years passed, and Grace was no longer the little girl selling oranges beside the dusty road. She had grown into a determined young woman who refused to forget where she came from. After years of studying, Grace finally graduated from medical school. On graduation day, she stood on the stage holding her certificate. When she looked into the crowd, she saw her mother crying. Grace ran to her. "Mom, we made it!" Her mother hugged her tightly. "I always knew you would become somebody." Grace smiled through her tears. "I became somebody because people believed in me when I had nothing." But there was one person Grace needed to thank. Mr. Johnson, the wealthy businessman whose life she had saved years earlier. The following morning, Grace returned to her village. As her car entered the dusty streets, children began running toward her. "Dr. Grace is back." The villagers gathered around her. Some were proud, others were ashamed. An elderly woman who had once ignored Grace walked toward her with tears in her eyes. "We treated you badly because you were poor," she said. "Please forgive us." Grace held her hands. "There is nothing to forgive. What matters is that we learn from our mistakes." Suddenly, a familiar voice came from behind the crowd. "Dr. Grace." She turned around. It was Mr. Johnson. He was older now, but his smile was the same. Grace rushed toward him and hugged him. "I could never have achieved this without you." Mr. Johnson smiled. "I only opened a door, Grace. You were the one brave enough to walk through it." Then Grace made an announcement that shocked everyone. "I didn't return home just to visit. I came back to give something to my people." She pointed toward a large piece of land. "I am going to build a hospital here." The villagers stared at her. Grace continued. "No mother should lose a child because she is poor. No family should watch someone they love suffer because they cannot afford treatment." Construction began immediately. Months later, the Grace Community Hospital opened its doors. Everyone was welcome. One afternoon, Grace noticed a frightened little boy sitting outside. His clothes were old, and his face was covered with dust. He reminded Grace of herself many years earlier. She knelt beside him. "What happened?" "My mother is sick," the boy whispered. "We don't have money." Grace smiled gently. "You don't need money. You have me now." She took his hand and led him inside. Across the courtyard, Mr. Johnson watched with tears in his eyes. Years earlier, a little girl had saved his life. Now that same little girl was saving thousands of lives. Grace had finally understood something powerful. Sometimes, the people everyone ignores are the very people capable of changing the world. And sometimes, one small act of kindness can become a miracle for an entire generation. The end. Moral: never judge someone by their circumstances. A kind heart, courage, and determination can turn an ordinary person into someone extraordinary.